Hello, this is Jinju Wang. Today I'm gonna show you how to install Groby Optimizer because Luto is running on an optimizer and we are currently using Groby as the optimizer. There have some requirements before we installing Groby. Please make sure you have an educational email address so you can apply for an academic trial for a whole year, or you have purchased a commercial license. The next few steps involves with downloading the Groby, including installing the Groby in a Linux system, request a license. We can apply for a license so that we can use under Luto. And after installing to the Linux system, we need to set up the path that is be different from how installing softwares in an Windows system. And at last, we will test our installation by executing some Groby command. First, we need to create an account in Groby website. Let's go to Google Chrome and search for Groby. Now let's get to the Groby homepage. Under the register link, let's click the register link. Here, we need to fill in our educational address and create a first name and last name, fill in all the necessary information and hit click all the way down to the end so that we can finish the registration process. After finishing up the registration process, we go back to the Groby homepage and hit login. Here, we just log in, use the account we registered with. Now we will get to the Groby user portal page. Now that we have registered for an Groby account, next we need to generate a license. We request a license in the Groby user portal page. Here in the left ribbon, we can see a license button. We just click the license button. And to request a new license, we need to click this request button. And among all those license types, we choose to use named user academic license. And we hit the generate now red button and check the readme and confirm request. After a while, the web page will be redirected to the license page, and we go to license. Here we can see a new license is generated. After that, we click this download button. It will generate a Groby installation guide. Where we need is this command line. But for now, we cannot use this command because we are not installing Groby into our Linux server. To install Groby into Linux, we first need to go to the Groby homepage. In here, we can navigate to the download and license panel. And here we choose to click this Groby software. After a while, we will get into the download page. Because we want to download the Linux version, so we click this installer. This will start a file downloading process, and we can go to the folder to inspect the downloaded file. It is a zip file. We do not unzip the file. Rather, we will copy this file to our Linux server. To copy the file to the Linux server, we first click the MobileXterm interface, and we get into the Ubuntu or the Linux server you have. And then, with a minute, we can see the File Explorer on the left panel. And here we can just drag this file into the left panel. We can see a progress bar here. Now the file has successfully transferred from our computer to the Linux system. Now we need to unzip this file into this directory. The command is tar/xzf and the name of the Groby. And we hit enter. Wait a minute, and we refresh the directory. Now we can see this file is successfully unzipped into this directory. So the next step is to set up the installation path. For example, we already have Groovy installed or unzipped into this directory, and it has all the necessary files to run the Groovy optimizer. But for the Linux system, it doesn't know that Groovy has unzipped. We need to find a way to tell the Linux system that the Groovy is sitting in this directory. The way to tell Linux to see something is to edit the bash file. Here, we need to make sure first we are inside the home directory. The way to do that is first execute cd means change directory. If we don't have any argument behind cd, it will lead us to the home directory. And then we execute pwd, it means print working directory. It will print the current directory, which is here. We know it's the home directory. We can confirm by here that we are inside the home directory in the Explorer. Now let's unhide the hidden files, and the bash file is here. That is where we can communicate with Linux. We can open the file with default editor. Let's ignore those chunk of text here. Let me say export name equals my name, and export age equals, I don't know, 100. So export is just to input something to Linux, and the left is the variable, the right is the value. Let's change the settings, Ctrl S, and close the file. Now we need to refresh the terminal. Refresh is to source the bash rc file. We just source this file, meaning we refresh the system. The Linux system will read everything inside this file again. That means refresh. Now we can use this echo command. You can think about echo as print in any language, and use $sign to get a variable. For example, name, and echo age. You can see Linux is successfully get the variable we have just input here. Now that we understand how to set up Linux environmental variables, now we need to know exactly how to set up the variables for Groovy. Now we need to go back to Groovy homepage, and in the homepage we click My Account. In My Account, let's click License. This one is the license not installed. It's the one we just requested in previous steps. We hit this download icon, and here we can see the software installation guide. In this installation guide, we go to the Groovy installation step. Here we can find out for Linux installation, we need to set up these 3 system variables. Let's set them one by one. The first variable is Groovy Home. Groovy Home should equals to the installation directory. So the installation directory is Groovy 1101. And here we need to pay attention that we need to click further, because this is the actual installation directory. So we copy this path, and we go back to see the bash rc file. We open it with default editor. In the last line, we delete previous examples, and we say Groovy Home equals to, let's wrap it with double quotes. Please note there shouldn't be any space in this command line. The next variable is the path. Path should extend to include install directory and the subdirectory of bin. Let's copy path here. Okay, I can see I used the wrong code here. Be this kind of code. Okay, let's go back to path. Path equals, we use $sign to take paths from the Linux environment and use this column sign to extend this path variable. It should be installing directory of the bin directory. So get inside the bin, we copy it, we paste it here. Next variable is this LD variable. In a similar way, it should extend to include the lib subdirectory. Library path equals double sign, and also we take this variable and extend it with the lib path. The lib path is here. We copy and paste it here. And then we save the file to the bash rc. Let's go to the home directory. Now let's save this configuration and go back to the terminal. First thing first, we need to source, aka refresh this bash rc file. Now all the variables has feed into Linux system. And then let's go back to the user portal. Let's copy this command line and paste it into the terminal. By right click, we can paste the copied string and hit enter. Now you can see the Groby is successfully installed because it is communicating with Groby server, and it is now downloading the license to the disk. It is asking us to where do we want to save the license file. So we just hit enter, let it save to the default location. Now we refresh the Explorer panel. We can see a Groby, the license file is being successfully retrieved from the server. Since we have successfully installed the license, let's close this panel, and you can see this license has installed on the machine called Jinzhu. So when you install the license in your machine, it will show up here that installed on the name of your machine. Okay, in this tutorial, we introduced that we can apply for an academic trial license from Groby. We download Groby to our Linux server and installed the Groby to Linux by setting up the necessary paths. And at last, we use a Groby command to retrieve the license from Groby server to our local Linux server. That's all about how we set up a Groby optimizer. In the future, when we run Luto, we will not worry about any part of the Groby because it will run in the background.